Sabalenka, 2 keys to rebuilding serve with Coach MacMillan. The service box once shrunk to the size of a mailbox for Aryna Sabalenka. She just couldn't make the delivery fit. World no. 1 Sabalenka solved her service woes a few years back working with biomechanical coach Gavin MacMillan. On Wednesday, Coco Gauff, who leads the WTA Tour in double faults, began working with MacMillan in an effort to repair her wayward serve. Gauff hit 43 double faults in 3 matches in Montreal, including a career-high 23 double faults in a 3-set win over Danielle Collins. Reigning US Open champion Sabalenka met the media in Flushing Meadows today and endorsed MacMillan's coaching and his skill rebuilding her serve. Sabalenka said it's important to note every player responds differently. I'm really grateful for his help during really tough times. For me, he really helped me with the serve, Sabalenka said of MacMillan. I really appreciate him for everything. You know, everyone is different. I was really desperate for changes, and I was ready to change whatever, to change my serve and to get better and to finally, get back on track with my serve. In her US Open practice sessions this week, MacMillan has been working on Gauff's swing plane on both her serve and forehand, which she hits with an extreme Western grip and sometimes spins it short in the court. The 2-time Australian Open champion Sabalenka said the repair process took a couple of weeks with MacMillan. So for me, it was basically like couple of weeks, and I was sort of fixed, Sabalenka said. But everyone is different, and I wish them both the very best and hopefully everything can work out well for them. The US Open top seed said there are 2 key factors to fixing the serve. 1. Trusting the work on the practice court and transferring it to match play, and 2. Putting in the repetitions so the streamlined served motion becomes muscle memory. Working with MacMillan, Sabalenka said, she felt almost immediate improvement on her serve. For me wasn't really hard, because I tried literally everything, and nothing would help me to fix my serve, Sabalenka said. It was the last step before I would say okay bye-bye tennis. I was so desperate, so I wasn't really doubting my decision. The moment we start working, I felt like okay, there is something. I definitely have a better feeling on my serve. And I just trusted the process, trusted myself. Like the first tournament I played, I already felt the difference and I felt okay, I'm getting there. So for me it was about repetitions, a little bit of a time, and like full commitment to whatever he was saying. For years, Aryna Sabalenka's game has been a paradox. On one hand, she is the embodiment of raw power, a fearless hitter whose forehand and backhand can leave opponents gasping. On the other hand, her serve, once her most formidable weapon, has too often betrayed her. Double faults piled up in matches like unwanted shadows, transforming what should have been a free point into a source of torment. But in 2025, the reigning world one has turned to a new ally in her quest to resolve that paradox, Coach Mark MacMillan. Together, they have embarked on a mission not just to repair her serve, but to reconstruct it into a weapon as devastating as the rest of her game. At the heart of their work lie 2 fundamental keys: technical precision and mental recalibration. The ghost of double faults. To understand why this project is so crucial, one must revisit Sabalenka's struggles. For much of her career, her serve has been a barometer of her confidence. When flowing, it thundered down aces and set the tone for rallies. When faltering, it unraveled into a cascade of double faults, dragging her rhythm and morale into chaos. In some matches, Sabalenka produced over a dozen double faults, an astonishing number for a player of her caliber. The issue wasn't simply mechanics, it was mental. The yips crept in, the toss betrayed her, and the fear of failure fed itself in a vicious cycle. Yet, despite this glaring weakness, she climbed to world one, a testament to her resilience and unmatched firepower from the baseline. Still, Sabalenka knew that if she wanted to dominate fully, to cement herself as the era's defining player, her serve could no longer be her Achilles heel. Enter Mark MacMillan. Mark MacMillan isn't just another coach, he is a biomechanics specialist with a reputation for refining the fundamentals of stroke production. His work emphasizes efficiency, rhythm, and confidence, elements that Sabalenka desperately needed to integrate into her serve. Their collaboration began quietly, with hours spent not on match strategy, but on rebuilding foundations. Where many coaches might focus on outcomes, more aces, fewer double faults, MacMillan and Sabalenka started with process. First, we had to strip it back, MacMillan explained in training footage. The serve is not about forcing power, it's about aligning the body to let power flow naturally. Key 1, technical precision. The first key to their work was technical precision. For years, Sabalenka's ball toss had been erratic, sometimes drifting behind her, other times floating too far in front. That inconsistency forced her to compensate with rushed movements, opening the door to mistimed contact. With MacMillan, the toss became the anchor. Hours were spent in practice tossing without swinging, drilling muscle memory until the ball landed in a precise window. From there, they adjusted her motion to reduce tension, smoothing out her takeback, encouraging a looser wrist, and aligning her shoulders for balance. The goal wasn't to change who Sabalenka is as a player. Her identity has always been aggression, not hesitation. But technical refinement gave her aggression a foundation. Instead of muscling the serve, she began to trust fluidity. Instead of reacting to a poor toss, she learned to restart calmly. The results, even in practice, were telling. Fewer double faults, more first serves landing deep and wide, and above all, a sense of rhythm that Sabalenka could carry into matches. Key 2. Mental recalibration. Yet mechanics alone cannot tame a serve haunted by nerves. The second key, and arguably the more important one, has been mental recalibration. Sabalenka has admitted in the past that serving under pressure made her overthink every motion. When I double faulted once, I worried about it twice. When I did it twice, I expected it a third time. It became a loop, she confessed. MacMillan's approach addressed this loop directly. Instead of viewing the serve as a fragile test, he reframed it as an opportunity. Together, they built pre-serve routines, breathing exercises, visualization and mental resets that allowed Sabalenka to approach each point fresh. They also worked on tolerance for failure. In practice sessions, she deliberately missed serves without judgment, breaking the fear of imperfection. Slowly, she began to see double faults not as disasters, but as neutral outcomes she could recover from. This recalibration wasn't about pretending nerves didn't exist. It was about accepting them, managing them, and channeling them into focus rather than panic.